just incredible. So that's all I want to say. Sorry to yield.
No, that was wonderful. I'm so sorry. I totally forgot to hit the record button. I'm going to need a little prompting, you guys. This is like new. We just started recording them so that we could load them onto the YouTube channel. So I just missed all that good stuff. Could you guys repeat that, please? No? Right. Oh, I'm really sorry about that. That sounds really fascinating. I'd like to learn more about that. So, Marianne, you said it was VEDIS, VEDIS. It's in the chat anyway.
It's Marianne or Anna Maria? Sorry, sometimes people call me Marianne, so I'm not sure.
I think it was Marianne that wrote it. The VEDIS, VEDAS, ancient. Was that what you were?
Yeah, the ancient Rus people, the Vedas.
Rus.
Yeah. And I don't know that there's a lot known about them in modern day, to be honest. I remember trying to research about them and I didn't come up with a whole lot. They have a very distinctive style of building, which some of these, I noticed that in the eco-village, the little bits that I could see of the houses that they've built in the eco-village in Russia that's modeled after Anastasia, they have a little bit of that same style. It's a very unique style. Anyway, and it's all very organic. Everything is just exactly what we want in this world right now. I'm not saying that they're perfect or anything like that. I'm just saying that's a very interesting present day model that is actually living. So just wanted to bring that up.
No, that's great. I mean, this is what we're looking to do, right? We were going to talk about it later as well. It's like, well, what steps can we start to take? Then we all kind of agreed last week that, yeah, it's time to start taking some action. So what are some actionable steps we can take? And so that sounds really cool. And maybe we should find out more and, start writing, like I'm thinking like a mind map sort of idea, right? Where you have all these different ideas and we see how we can come together, incorporate them and pick the best of all the best and figure out how to do it. But thank you, Anna Maria. Grace?
Hi. Well, I also had experience with a Russian school too, just through YouTube though. And it's kind of the same thing that this gal was talking about. All the kids stayed at the school in Russia and each, like if they were doing math and the oldest would teach the youngest, if they were doing stuff within this school and that needed to be painted, then whoever was the artistic one did the painting. They did walks in the forest and foraged. They also did building onto their school themselves. And the other thing that they incorporated was the music and the dancing of the Russian people. And they loved it. It was just very hard and difficult, I would think, until you got used to it, because they would go and live there. They actually lived at their school in order to do what they were doing. But it was like, wow.
Like
how amazing.
Families? Is that what you mean?
They left the families and they went and they did school, but they did school in a way that they were excelling in. They did a grade, like a grade 8 course in 3 months.
Yeah.
The type, they just excelled. Yeah. And then and when you have to teach it, right, you learn it, right?
Exactly.
But it was
95% more, most effective way to learn anything is to teach it. Yeah.
Exactly. But it was amazing too.
And you found that on YouTube?
I did. I'll see if I can find it again and I'll send it to you and then you can send it out to everyone if you want.
Sure, that'd be great. And actually just on that note, before I get to you, Mark, I'm going to give you guys a little update on the portal. Because this has just come to my mind. We're still working on it. And what we've discovered is that we need to do quite a bit more work, because we need to add some more technical stuff so that the different programs will interface with each other. If we don't, what's going to end up happening is people are going to make posts, they're going to get lost. We need to be able to have a system where everything is trackable. I know Marianne will do a better job of explaining it than me, but it is going to take a little bit longer. But we are making progress. So that's the good news. And I can even give you guys, yes, Marianne?
Oh, I can wait till you're done. I don't have to interrupt your sentence. I
Oh.
was just going to say, what we're finding is we really, and I thought the designer was doing a database, what I call the database backed site for us. And it turns out that no, she had a different idea of what that meant. So we're realizing, no, we do need to have a content management system and a workflow worked out before people start posting, or else it's going to be really difficult to manage. We don't want to deal with emails and forwards and, especially when we're dealing with volunteers, not a paid workforce in a physical place together. It needs to be thought through quite carefully, but we're almost there, I believe. I just need to, we're having a couple more meetings with our web designer, who has done a fabulous job in making the front end look fabulous. Yes. I think it's going to be really appealing and very inviting, and people will want to use this service.
Yeah. And I can even show you some of it tonight if you like.
Yeah, let's do that, Norma.
Meet up and show you guys, and take you for a little walk through it. But I'm disappointed. I thought every week I say, I think it's one more week, and that's I'm not going to do that to you this week, because I think it's going to be more like 2.
Right. And I'm like, usually these things are months and sometimes years. So I actually think we've done really good progress quite quickly, but we did this month kind of hit a little bit of a plateau there, but we are almost over that big hump, and then we will be able to launch. I do believe.
Yeah. And I think now that we have because that's how things go too, right? As you're working on it, you discover, oh, that's not going to work. We're going to have to do it this way. Oh, well, so it's, it's a work in progress, and we're learning as we go. And Marianne and Jade have just been fantastic. And I am super excited about it still, and I will show it all to you. Yeah. But just on that note, one of the parts on the site is we're providing resources for people. So if you know of a website or a YouTube video, or, like what you were talking about, Anna Maria, that book series or whatever, send me an email and let me know. Give me a link, give me the name, tell me where they can find it, or whatever information you can, so that I can post it, or we can post it, so that it's available, whether it's for educators or it's for parents and homeschoolers, or if it's some resources that you've found, or that you think would be really great, or you've used and about programs, resources, workshops, any of that kind of stuff, right? People's websites. So yeah, I welcome anybody to start sending me that kind of stuff. And I believe everybody here has my email. So if you need it, just let me know. I'll put it in the chat. Grace?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't take my hand down.
Okay. Mark?
Okay, I'll do my best. I left one room to avoid the sound, and hopefully it didn't follow me. I just thought it was very interesting how we have all spent a considerable time, which is a good thing, on focusing on what my professor Keene at WSU's architecture department introduced as incorporating into any kind of situation a sense of place and space. And so when we're talking about the environments that our students are learning in, we need to consider how that looks. If it's all going to be digital, then maybe we need to incorporate some kind of visual in the background that also gives them that sense of security, not like the prison guards that might be outside the schools that they've been going to. I look at those and they look like penitentiaries to me, and I don't want my kid going to a school that looks like a prison. And I'm sure it feels like a prison when you go inside. Everybody's checking weapons, et cetera, et cetera. And the movie I referenced, Last Mimsy, also talked about the environment that the kids were in. They were all, shh, please, please, please. Were outside in outdoorsy environments. Mm-hmm. And I think before he gets rowdy, I'm going to cut it off right here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, and Marianne's just put in the chat, we're talking about blogs as well. We actually have a spot on the site that's for blog ideas. And so if there's something that you wanted to write about, feel free to email me about that as well. So I don't know, we haven't quite figured out how we're going to run that, whether or not if we'll have themes, or if it'll just be kind of an open thing, if we'll have it categorized. We're kind of still figuring that part out, but I'm sure that, we all have got so much experience and ideas, and that I don't think we'll have a shortage of blog posts, right? So that's something to start percolating on as well, if anybody's interested in doing that. Would you like me to show you the site, you guys? Yeah? Okay, I'm going to see if I can figure it out. Hang on. Oh, hang on. I have to do this. There, can everybody see it? Yeah, everyone can see it. Say yes. Somebody says yes. Oh, yay, good. Okay, so here's our first page. Don't those look like happy children? I love it. Welcome to the Life Force Canada Education Portal. So Karen Klassen did a welcome video for us, and I think I'll play it for you so you can have a look at it.
Hello, I'm Karen Klassen with Life Force Canada. Welcome to the Life Force Educational Portal. We at Life Force Canada recognize that the public school system has been failing our children for a long time. Surprisingly, most children are not being effectively taught how to read, to spell, and basic math computation, never mind important life skills like learning about growing their own food, nutrition, holistic medicine, critical thinking, communication skills, and natural law, or how to connect with nature. Sadly, they're also not being taught how truly wondrous and powerful they are, or to believe in themselves. As you know, we're moving through a transitional time, and many are making a conscious choice to exit the old system. We realize it's up to us to take back our power and co-create the world we want to see. The children are our future, and they have been struggling in an old draconian system for far too long. It's time for a change. We created this portal to connect homeschoolers and parents, both with other like-minded parents, but also directly with forward-thinking teachers, alternative educators, and educational specialists who truly care about the health and well-being of every child, and about empowering them to reach their full potential. Our goal is to provide a safe and supportive platform that you can use as a springboard for discussions, connections, and finding available resources as we collectively reimagine education. So how does this platform work? Well, first of all, we have made this site absolutely free. If you are a parent seeking a teacher for some or all subjects, you've come to the right place. On this portal site, you can explore our database to find a variety of support, ranging anywhere from one-to-one in-person instruction, small classes, online courses, to locating a learning pod within your community. If you are a teacher or educational specialist looking to offer your services and expertise, or you would like to let parents know about your online courses, small groups, or educational pods, all you have to do is create a post and share. This portal is also the perfect place to offer or search for special events, camps, workshops, courses, and much more. Our site is nationwide, allowing you to connect with parents and educators in any province across Canada. Alternative schools are welcome to post here as well. You'll also find a specific section where you can search or offer educational products and resources. Our goal is to provide a platform where we can all connect, share experience and expertise to work together towards a better education for our children. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? Just follow the instructions in the create and seek post sections of this site. All posts will be reviewed by our volunteers to help maintain high quality posts and offerings that can be easily searched for and found. And then once reviewed, they'll be posted. It's that simple. Well, we'll provide agreement templates for your convenience and use. All negotiations and payments will happen directly between the parties, completely independent of our platform. I encourage you to explore our site and feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Please join our educational community in the spirit of respect, collaboration, contribution, and service to others. With your support, we are providing new and innovative solutions and opportunities that empower children to believe in themselves, tap into their creativity, and most importantly, have fun being a child. I am Karen Klassen, and together we rise.
Pretty cool, huh? The key words there were easy. It's supposed to be easy. That's why we're working a little harder to make sure that everything is going to flow the way it's supposed to. We want to hit the ground running, and we don't want to discourage people by making it not user friendly enough, or we don't want to lose volunteers because it's too complicated. So that's where we're at there. Oh, wait, hang on. I was still showing you the website though. Let me get back to that. Sorry. All right, let's try this again. Here we are. I don't know why that came up. Oh, that's weird.
That's really weird.
That comes up on YouTube afterwards or something. Oh, that's so strange. We're gonna have to look after that.
There's no way to stop that.
Yeah, there's gotta be a way of stopping that. That's no good at all.
Interesting. We might have to embed from a different platform.
Okay, I'll have to talk. That's good. I'm glad that came up, because now we can talk to Jade about it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we have a place for people to join our mailing list. And here we list our services. So whether you are looking for an educator, here it's whether you want to advertise your services as an educator, and share and sell your educational products and services. Jump in anytime you like, Marianne, if there's something you wanted to add. So here's where people's posts will be, or where the posts will be. Right now you can tell it's just a template, but this is where you'll find blogs.
So how it works is the three most recently posted things will appear on the homepage. And then if you click at the top under the news section, you will see all of the possible posts that we've done chronologically ordered, just like a typical blog. That's what I'm hoping.
And what about the full blog button here?
That go to the same page as news above, yeah.
Okay, all right. And then we have this opportunity for people to join our volunteer team, and also to donate or sponsor our page, because we are completely nonprofit. This costs money, of course, so we're hoping that we get some people to donate or sponsor. We're going to have a sponsorship page where people or companies can sponsor us like they would like a baseball team or whatever. And that will help us pay for the cost of getting this site up and running, but also to maintain it as well, right? Because we're always going to have to be probably paying IT to help us upgrade and whatnot. Here are some links to Life Force Global, Life Force Canada, United News Network, which if you guys haven't been on there, we have got our own Canadian newscasting station on there now, which is pretty exciting. I think it's every couple of weeks. What am I missing here? Anything? I feel like I'm missing something.
No, just I think we can go through the menu choices at the top one by one.
All right, so services. Thank you. Yes. And look at it, how lovely it looks, you guys. Doesn't it look great? So inviting. So then we talk about some of the things that people might be looking for and what they're going to be able to find on here. Here's where you can look for a service. Here's where teachers can offer a service. They download the template, they fill in all the blanks. It goes to then they submit it. It goes to our volunteers to make sure that it meets all the criteria and nothing's been left out. And once it's been vetted, then it gets posted onto the site. And it's all explained in here, and all the various things that people might be looking for or what they can post on here. And then there's also create offering. Is that for the teachers? That is, isn't it? Or is that for resources?
The offering? So if you're offering a course, if you're offering a product for sale, if you're offering a PD event.
Right. Okay.
So search posts is the word for our database. So that's where you go to find stuff.
Right. And so you can search by province Are there going to be all of the provinces listed across here?
Yes, what she said is that as soon as people make posts from those areas, they will show up. So tomorrow in our training session, she's going to show us more how this is going to work.
Okay.
I thought they'd be kind of set categories that we would see right away, but she says that's not how the plugin works.
Okay. And then there will also be the option of searching all the provinces and territories at once. So if you're looking for an online course, it maybe doesn't matter where it's being run from, right? So,
and there's also going to be more ways to search. So you can search by grade, by course, by geographic area. We're going to have it keyworded so that you can also use hashtags. That was my understanding anyways. And you can also narrow in on if you want to just search by one-to-one courses, or if it's online, or if it's a small education pod in your area.
Right.
We'll see. But we have to apparently populate this to see how it's going to really work.
Right. And then this is what it will look like. Is this what the posts are going to look like then?
Again, just like in the other area, the most recently done ones will show up.
Right.
Excuse me, I've got a small child pounding at the door.
And then here's where you can create your offering. So it just gives us step-by-step on how to do it. It's actually hopefully going to be pretty simple. This is the links page I was talking about, if you guys know anything. So here's the categories: parents and homeschoolers, teachers and educators, and then material providers. So again, just please feel free to send me stuff. Frequently asked questions. So they can either click on here and it'll take them to that, or they can click on there and it takes them down to here. These are all like in an accordion. Again, if you can think of any questions that you think either teachers and educators or parents are going to have, go ahead and ask us. If you know the answer to it, even better, give us the answer, because we've had to come up with the questions and then search the answers ourselves too, right? So any ideas there, we're welcome. You're welcome to share them with us, and we're happy to have them.
So Mark posted he has to get going here, but he wants to is the download is template ready yet? Now, originally we were thinking they would download things and fill it out and then upload it again. I have another suggestion. I think that we should just put in the points that you have to hit in your post and just type it in the description, and then it will go across to the content management system. So we have to talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. But the general idea, Mark, will be what is the class about? That needs to be in the title. Who is it for? Where is it? Does it matter if it's geographically located or not? Like, what is the modality? No, Daniel. When does the course start? When does the post need to come back down? So you can't have a post up for more than a year. And then the description, what are the keywords? So what grade, what subject, what is the description for it? And that's it.
Over a year.
Because if we got a sideline question here, but it's a good question. Why can't you have it for more than a year? I have found that if a post is left up there indefinitely, the person forgets about it, it gets buried, nobody knows if it's still being offered or not. So we do need the people who posted it to review it on a scheduled basis and decide, should we keep posting it, or do we want to change it, or do we want to take it off the database, just to keep the database clean.
Yeah, and that's one of those ones that we wanted to have sort of an automated system, so that from the date that it gets posted 6 months later or whatever, however long we decide, boom, you get an email saying, hey, your offering or your search is going to expire in 3 days. What do you want to do? And they can just renew it, or they can go back and change it, or whatever. So this tells them a little bit about, our mission statement sort of thing and what we're doing here. And yeah, this is talks about all the things that we are going to touch on, or hopefully the people that we will be able to support. And this is talking about, look, it's not just about traditional education. There's all these other opportunities that, haven't been offered in schools, but maybe should be, right? So anyways, and then there's the contact. So, and that I believe is about it. Any comments on that, Anna Maria?
Thank you so much. You guys have done an amazing job. It looks really great. I have a question for Marianne about it, and then another one for Norma Jean. It's hard to see because I just got what you showed us, Norma Jean. Is there going to be a category at all, or is it going to just show up under each, like where you can give a service, for example, in exchange for a service? Because it sounds like everything's going to be money generated. And I think there's a lot of families and people that may not be able to do that, especially during these times. So I'm just wondering how you're going to address that, or if that's just going to come up automatically. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. We haven't specifically mentioned that, but it's whatever one person wants to offer. And we've made it very a repeated request to make things for free, to do resource sharing, and to make your own arrangements with the provider. So if a person who is responding to a request has something of equitable value to offer in exchange, of course they can offer it. That's not our business, that's theirs. But we could also make that more of an obvious choice in our FAQ and in our template to post. Great idea.
Yeah, I think it's a way that of the future, isn't it? Where we're going to be going back to some barter systems, I think, on occasion, where I'm already doing it, which is funny that you brought that up, Anna Maria. I'm already exchanging some of my services for, the child's mom is going to come and clean my house, and the husband is going to install the dishwasher for me, and we're just going to take it out in exchange. And so I think that as time goes on, we may see more of that. So that's actually a good point. Do you mind typing something like that just in the chat? Hey, can we put something about a barter system in there, and we'll add it to the FAQ? If you don't write it down, then I will forget it, because there's so many balls in the air right now. So that's a great point. Hi, Simon, you just missed our tour through the website. I'm sorry. It's nice to have you here tonight, though. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, I was in a previous meeting, like I mentioned.
I know, but that's okay. We're going to have it up and running again. If we have more new people next week, I might even go through it again quickly next week. We'll see. Anybody else have any other comments about what we just showed you, or ideas, or no?
I did have a question for you, Norma Jean.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. I don't mean to jump the gun or anything like that. And I know that this is a pretty big project. And I do volunteer to participate in the vetting process. So if you want to email me for that, I can help with that if you teach me how to do it.
Yeah, we're learning ourselves.
So yeah, so you can put me on the list. And I just wanted to ask, when are we going to start talking about building our new education system? And I know that's why I'm here. I mean, I think it's great that this portal exists, because I'm going to refer people. I know people already who are considering pulling their kids from school, and I might end up having to do it. So definitely this is an excellent place to start. But I'm a little
anxious.
I know. Anxious. I really want to build this.
I mean, and we talked about that last week, right? And it was like, everybody said, should we do it now, or should we wait? No, let's do it now. I agree. I think we should. The problem for me is that, well, I've never created an education system before, right? So I don't really know this. Well, let's take steps 1, 2, and 3. But what I personally have been doing is reaching out to other educators and other places that I found that I think, okay, this looked like a really cool model. I wonder if I'll be able to speak with the founder of the school. I wonder what they can tell me. Next week, we have someone coming on. She's going to share what she does, and she has courses available. She's got a template already in place. Simon has a template that he's been working on. So yes, we should form a committee. We should assign, here's a project for you to work on this week. Come back next week and let's report, that sort of thing. Marianne, did you want to jump in? I'm only here to kind of hold space and bring everybody together, but I'm by no means in charge of this or the one who's going to be running the show. This is a collaborative, everybody's sharing ideas. So if you, Anna Maria, just one sec, Mariana, if you have an idea, if this is something that's in your wheelhouse and you go, okay, I got a plan. What do you think of this? Bring it on. Let's hear it. Right. Like, yeah. Like what you were telling us about tonight in Siberia, Russia, the eco villages, that sounds amazing. I'd love to learn more about that.
Okay, I'll look further into it and maybe do a little report next week.
And also, if like Marianne, you actually have some experience in this sort of stuff. So sorry, I'll let you jump in.
Thanks. it's kind of hard. First of all, Anna Maria, do you have something in mind in terms of how to bring everybody's ideas together? We have talked about roundtables, we've talked about surveys, and we've talked about needs assessment things, but I've also been made aware this past week that we cannot tell people what to do. It cannot be top down. And this is the responsibility of each plan council, and each plan council has their own education committee. So what I was seeing, what I got out of our last meeting last week was that we could be a way for people to discover and learn about what kinds of options are going on out there in the world for education, from which each plan council, and to help word our surveys in a way that gives them concrete evidence to support needs and assessments going on in their own individual area, so that they can make their own decisions about what education systems they want to see. So it'd be great to have a bunch of options available that are tested and true, and people almost doing case study reports. This is the template, this is what we've been doing, this is what we've discovered, this is what we suggest as a result for all those other people going forward. But that's just one possibility. Do you have another idea?
Well, I mean, it just depends on where we want to start. Like some people might want to start worldwide and sort of narrow it down, you know, like the innovative or alternative education models that already exist, and take a look at that and see what we can, you know, we don't need to reinvent the wheel again. But then, of course, we do also have to understand what is it that is more needed right now within our own communities. So absolutely, maybe we can do a bit of both of that. Maybe we can have certain people who look into the outside model, but then others who are more focused, or else we can all do it at one time. I mean, it depends on how people want to do that. But yeah, I think that we have to start somewhere, and for sure, obviously starting in our own backyard makes sense.
I just wanted to add the idea, and I always look at this as, okay, there's this powerful system that's this behemoth, this monster of a system that's so huge that encompasses like everything. And then we're trying to develop this grassroots movement, and each school, each group, each community is doing their own thing. And I agree with Marianne that it can't be a top down, right? Each community should be developing their own systems, but there has to be a way to align, an alliance that follows a set of like core beliefs, where there's like you're a member of this group. You're still, there's got to be this, yeah, core competencies, yes. There has to be something that connects the movement. Otherwise, it's just this scattered movement, and there are gonna be these amazing schools and these amazing places doing great things, but then where's the unification? And the unification is important, because if we didn't have this monster of a system, then the unification would be unnecessary, because each locale can do its own thing. But because we do have this powerful system that's out to eat up everything around it, right? There needs to be this initiative that we take to build strength in numbers, because ultimately at some point something's got to give, and we're either going to overpower peacefully, hopefully peacefully, this monster of a system, or it's going to overpower us, because, you know, just when you have 1,000 people at your door, there's not much you can do. So I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I thought a lot about this idea of Alternative Education Alliance, but it could be called anything you want. But I liked Alternative Education Alliance, and then start growing something out of that. Okay, if you're a school, you can become a member. If you're a teacher, you can become a member. If you're a parent, you can become a member. But then we have this group that begins to form. And I know the idea of a group is kind of a theoretical concept. It doesn't actually exist. The only thing that truly exists are individuals. But still, I mean, the idea of collaboration and unification, I think, is important.
Yeah, and I think also, because Life Forest Canada is just kind of getting off the ground, like, you know, most of the provinces have put in their ratification, but nobody's been ratified yet. So the provinces that, like, I know that BC doesn't have an education committee yet. I know that there's other provinces that are the same. So we're all anxious and we want to get it going, but until we get more people involved and we get those committees within the provinces started, and then it goes down to the communities. And I'm not saying that we don't start doing anything until all that's happening. I just think that realistically, it's going to take a while for this to happen. And the way I've kind of looked at it is like what we've talked about before, where we kind of get together and we figure out, well, what do we want society to look like in the future? We can see the things that are wrong with it right now. We want to have natural law. We want to have blah, 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 all these different things. What do we need in our education of children to make that happen? What is it we want for our kids? We want them to be resilient. We want them to be critical thinkers. We want this, that, and everything else. How do we get there? And then I'm thinking, well, I'm looking at these different schools, these different models. I'm talking to different educators that are seeing and raising these kids that are free thinkers and feeling amazing about themselves. And then, well, what are they doing right? And how can we add to that? And how can we pull from here and here and here and bring it together? And I think that even though the provinces are going to be all on their own, I think Simon's right. I think we kind of have to have like a template that we can offer to the plan councils of the provinces and of the communities, and they can tweak it to make it work within their community, whether it's urban or rural or whatever, but sort of like a basis, right? Here's a template. This is what we're doing, but we can't force it on anyone. You're right. But, always open. That's why we're meeting, right? To hear ideas, to come up with a plan. That's kind of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, like maybe that's what we should all be turning our mind to over the next couple of weeks as well. What are some of the first steps that we can take? Like, what do we think?
Well, I think it starts with the core values, the core belief system. And if we can put together a single page that can clearly articulate what our core values are, then, and that should be clear enough, right? And the system that each school or, learning community or however they want to raise their kids, so long as those core beliefs are in common, how they go about the education methodology is up to them, right? And then, like you said, we can provide different kind of like free resources and opportunities to collaborate and, what works, what doesn't, and ongoing information and resource. But I think that's where you would start is just with the core values. And, it's so easy to tell whether a parent is on one side of the fence or the other. Just a couple sentences, one simple question, and then clearly you already know where they're at. And then you can assume everything else, because if they're not happy with their kids being masked in schools, that's enough. That right there tells you everything you need to know, right? And so if they don't want their kids to be masked, most likely they don't want them vaccinated. More than likely, they don't want them vaccinated. They also have this opinion of the government and what they're about. And so you just need to know essentially if they're complying with one or two things, or really just one thing, and then you know what side of the fence they're on. And I think that would apply to a school as an organization. It would apply to teachers. It'll apply to students, parents. So
yeah, we're not going to have many people involved with us in our organization that aren't on our page, though, right? So
there you go.
Yeah.
But we're also trying to reach out to as many schools outside of Life Force Canada, with the hope that they would join Life Force Canada. But ultimately, if there's this alliance of, people who are interested in education and a different way of educating and evolving how children spend time, it's just simple concept of how children spend time, period. And once you get enough people on board, it would be great if they can get on board with Life Force Canada in the process. It's just hard to understand, like, Tammy was asking me a little bit about Life Force Canada, and I can't give her a very clear explanation. Like, I can tell her about the pillars, and I can tell her, about how excited I am about the possibilities, but there's not enough clarity about, the financial end of it, and nor do I care about that right now either. I'm just here because I love the idea of building community and connecting with like-minded people, but it's not clear yet, I guess, where Life Force Canada, like, or maybe I just don't know enough, right? I haven't gone to a meeting with Kim yet, and
I think lots of us are in the wait and see, but right. We're all of the same mind of that it's headed in the right direction anyways, right?
Right.
Marianne, did you want to add something?
Yes, I do. I really like that idea of helping establish some core values. I think we have to be very careful about imposing it on others. It's going to appear to many people as top down. And I think maybe what we could do is offer a buffet. Here are the core values that we could either present it as, each school or each organization, they get to present their own core values in terms of what they're doing. And from that, see what bubbles up as kind of some core universal truths. But I think it's going to take a bit of time. But what about if we scheduled our first symposium to at least start to establish these ideas for core values in education? I don't know if we have to start with what we don't want, even if we establish that could be a good accomplishment for that first symposium. And then from that, start to branch out in terms of what we do want after we do an exploration. And I think it'd be really cool if we could start a task force and explore what are the different models out there in the world. Some of the ideas we came up with tonight were fantastic. I'd love to learn more about that stuff. And then at the same time, and we can do this on our blog post as well, profile and feature the people who've joined the portal that we have discovered have really cool, innovative education things as well. And then we'll have a nice pool of info to kind of draw on for that first symposium. That could even happen in January or December.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I think that we're almost in the gathering, coming together, gathering information stages right now. But that's because I don't know that much about how to do this. So, but that's a good idea, Marianne.
From my experience in the library world, where I did a lot of this kind of work about a number of years ago now, when the entire library world, both public and private and academic, were just in a complete flummox because of the massive cutbacks all across the board. And the first thing to get cut in almost every school is the library. And so they were at the verge of being extinct if they didn't unite and figure out innovative ways to collaborate and do things and get things done and remain relevant. They had to reinvent themselves. And they did it. And it took time, and it took a lot of in-person meetings, which, and it's easier to do when you're within one province, a little hard across Canada, but we've got Zoom, we've got symposiums, we've got lots of really cool tools now. We'll also have this portal as well to act as somewhat of a communication medium. So I think that it could definitely happen. And it might come together even more quickly than I'm thinking, because it does sound like there's got quite a bit of synergy and a lot of people who are, somebody needs attention. You could tell this. Okay, no, not now. Yeah, it could be that people are actually really on the same page. We'll see. And it could also be that other people who join at a later time have different ideas and want to do it their own way. And there definitely has to be a lot of openness to that.
Yep. Brian.
Yeah, as Simon was talking about, students, or no, teachers could be members and parents can be members, school can be members of all of this. Now, we've already, in the past, we talked about some of the more gifted students are going to be helping with education as well, and they'll maybe take on some aspect of tutoring. And Simon would have more insight to this than I think anybody else, I think. But you get the students, they'll be fighting for their own education too. And we're worried about a top-down appearance. If we give the students a voice, this is what they want, then that's not a top-down, and it's very powerful when you have the kids saying, this is what we want, this is good. And you, hopefully, the new education system is going to be very enjoyable and inspiring for the new students. With that, I yield.
That's a great idea. And I think you're right. I think the kids have to be involved in this.
That's something that Grace was mentioning recently as well. We've got to let the kids have a voice somehow. Should we have a kids symposium? What do you want to see in education? Should that be one of our basic first steps?
Yeah, yeah. And we've talked about having their own blog area too, where they can, it's just, it'll be hard for us to maybe drum that up.
I've been thinking about that, and that's on we can't really manage that. And for legal issues, you can't have children, and some kids can't even type yet. So I think it needs to maybe be more of a Zoom-like environment where they can talk.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And being recorded, and there can be transparency and ease of understanding.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm not so sure about Zoom, but I do feel there has to be a way for kids to be able to submit their ideas somewhere. Right? Like they watch a video, a presentation that gets them inspired, and then their parents or they themselves, depending on age and ability, are able to submit suggestions through a form or through whatever they like, have like little contests or something like that. At our school, we preach incessantly this idea that they earn their freedom, right? Like the reason why we've been forced to create a structure for our students where they have, English, math, science, social studies, French, and then this and that, in as rigid a way as we have, is because kids are not, and I won't say across the board, but I think generally speaking, kids are not self-disciplined enough. They don't have the skills yet. They don't have the patience, the calmness to just like ask children to sit still for 5 minutes, for a minute. Okay, get a room of 20 kids and say, okay, we're all just going to sit quietly for 2 minutes. Good luck. But then you have people like Tammy, who's going to be, I guess, on next week. And you can go into her kindergarten class with 4 or 5-year-olds, and they can be still and silent, working on whatever they're working, but still and silent for 30 minutes straight. And they don't talk, they point. She does this thing with them. So it's not like they're incapable, right? But the moment you can tap in to children's, I would say almost like their true nature and ability, because when they act out, it's not them. It's just their reaction to their environment, or, it's not their true selves. But when you tap into this true nature and their ability, their capacity for maturity, for being calm and focused, kids prefer calm, peaceful than rowdy and crazy. They just resort to rowdy and crazy because, well, go look at a prison and see how the inmates act and support each other, right? But you create an environment where there's no freedom, and you're going to get the kind of behavior that you get. So we are constantly talking to our students about the concept of be efficient with your time. If we have class time, you can get the work done in 15 minutes, then you'll have 35 minutes to do what you want. The problem is that the kids that are older in our school have not had the benefit of the early years training. And if you don't set a strong foundation, then you're a little bit screwed. And not completely, because there's always room to change, but it's reprogramming. It's like taking something, like who would want to take a computer that has been, filled to the brim? Like you need to format it and start a new one, or start a new drive, or who would want to go sort through files and files of data, information and memory, and reprogram and figure out what's what? No, you just scrap it and reboot it, but you don't have that benefit with a kid, right? You can't just scrap their memory and restart. But if you have a brand new computer, you can organize the files how you want. You can do everything how you. So I don't know if that's the best analogy, but the idea is to start young, create a really powerful program that's not based on academics. It's based on self-awareness and self-motivation and self-discipline, and then you have something powerful. So I know, yeah.
Can I interrupt you just for a moment? Just Anna Maria has made a request. She's got to go to another meeting. She just wanted to say something quick before she left. Sorry, do you mind?
Of course, no, not at all.
Okay, thanks.
Sorry about that, and thank you so much. Just a quick thing I wanted to say before I have to rush off to the Plan Council Vancouver meeting, guys. I think you guys are all great and love your ideas, and I would love to continue on with actually coming up with the core values. We do have to have a common thread throughout Canada, and maybe thinking and brainstorming about what we don't want, like you said, is a common thread, and saying that we want something better. And we're looking into that. And certainly that, I'm sure, will attract a lot of people. And as far as for the idea that we're worried about top down, I would like to just briefly share the Baha'i consultation method. I am not personally Baha'i. I'm not trying to put religion into anything, but I think there's something to be learned in all groups that operate peacefully. And they're actually known worldwide for their consultation practices, which basically when they get together, they consult, they basically share all their ideas. And the moment that you put your idea out into the group, that idea no longer belongs to you. You lose the ego. The idea is now part of the group, of the living entity or consciousness of the group. And they're very much into unity consciousness. So to me, this is how that would be. This would be a way of consultation with all of us. We're kind of all on the same page really anyway, but each of us can bring something totally different. And I really like that comes to mind, the consultation and releasing the ego when sharing our thoughts and ideas. So with that, I yield. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next week. Thank you, Anna Maria. That was wonderful. Thank you. Can I share with you guys a quick video? It's from Tammy's organization. How do you say it? Anua? Am I saying that right, Simon?
Not sure. She has quite a bit going on. She's got Star Hero Academy.
This is Anua, I think it is.
Anua Heroes. Yeah. I don't know if that's her and somebody else.
Yeah, she's got a couple, but I really love this. So give me a moment here to make sure I have this right.
Right, yes, I've seen that. Yeah, that's great.
Today, we invite you to embark on your personal journey to transformation by becoming the hero you were born to be. Become an Anua hero. We are habitual beings. Our mind loves familiar, safety, and routine. Every choice we make, every choice we take is writing the story of our life and the world we are living in. Letting go of old habits and beginning new habits that align with your purpose and passions. Gently close your eyes and imagine your best future self.
I don't think the sound's coming through that well.
It's designed to bring you into a new beginning, a new chapter, in a new and better world. It will require you to have great courage, be creative, and take risks. What's the story you want to tell? What's the life you want to live? What natural born gifts and talents are? Do you know your superpower? Have you thought about how you could inspire and serve others? The world needs your hero, now more than ever.
Isn't that great? Oh, it's still on. Hang on.
Can Can you put that link in chat, because the sound wasn't coming through, I don't think, very well.
Oh, really? Oh, too bad. Yes, I will. Thanks for letting me know that. Yeah, I think that we have inadvertently, or maybe not, taken away children's willingness to take risks, and we have trampled on their creativity, and it's time to stop that. I like what Anna Marie was saying. I think we all do really have to start thinking about what the process is going to be, what each of us individually can do towards that, and then how we can come together. And speaking with other people that you know that are like-minded, they don't have to be educators, right? We've all been to school. We all know what worked. We all know what didn't. We know we have stories of kids that were crushed by their school experiences, right? So yeah, is there anything else that we should talk about before we call it a night tonight?
Well, I'm curious to know, to take that idea forward so we don't circle around to it again next meeting.
Good.
Some suggestions were made tonight. Maybe we could see if there's some consensus on going forward on some of them. So sound like Anna Marie was willing to do research in terms of what was going on outside, like otherworldly things. And Grace, you had some great ideas too. I'd love to.
Gracie?
No, it's a different person. Grace, about the Russian school and the eco, you know, what you experienced there. Mm-hmm. So that could be one thing we might want to go forward on. Another thing could be to schedule this symposium to start talking about core values, starting with what we don't want, and then seeing how far we get with establishing kind of, these are some basic principles that we would love to see in education in Canada, or that we think could work as basic premises across Canada, maybe. And then also have some sort of outreach to get the kids' voices involved. So I heard that as well. Either I heard a few different ways of doing that. I love that video you just saw, but again, like Brian said, I couldn't quite hear it, so I need to watch it again.
Oh, okay.
But if we had something like that the kids could respond to, like what would you like to see in your school and in your world, and get the kids to just submit a 1 minute or a 2 minute video or a poster that they talk through or something like that, just to get a variety of things. We could post them on the blog. We could also just share them during this symposium. I think that'd be super cool. People would be very interested in that. And I think a lot of homeschoolers and even people in normal school, I call it, public classes now some teachers might pick up on that and think, hey, cool, that's a nice class project to do.
Yeah, so how do we get that out there? How do we?
The portal. Right now, that's our main way.
And like I said, I think that once the provinces are up and running more too, it'll be easier. We'll be able to get everybody involved in it too. Like right now, there's only 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 14 of us here at a time. I think I have about 35 people on the list that I email, but not everybody comes at every time, which is okay. But yeah,
and we can start there, and we can also see how many people, once we launch the portal, start to donate, so we can actually have an advertising budget.
Yeah,
advertise this as an event.
Yeah. Right now we are sort of a bit limited, but I think we also have to give ourselves a bit of credit that we are making headway, right? We are getting there. We are percolating ideas. It was only a few weeks ago that we spent most of our time introducing each other, right? So I think we're making ground, and that's good, right?
Well, and I think that the symposium doesn't have to be hundreds and hundreds of people, even if there's just us there. Yep. But it's more of an official thing with a publication that comes out of it, instead of and this will be posted on the portal as well, and kind of like a solid document that we've all agreed upon. This is maybe we can always revisit it later.
This is maybe a silly question, but I don't actually know what a symposium is. Like, what happens? It's
like a conference, but it's just a couple of hour-long meeting. It could be. So instead of people physically going to a place and having days and a day-long session, it's just like one session out of a conference. Okay. Sometimes they're really long, and they can be as long as a 2 or 3 day long conference, depending on how big the topic is and how developed the industry is. But to start with, it could just simply be an official Zoom meeting on this topic at this date that's open to everybody, that we advertise, and we encourage other people to come, and we have a set plan for what we're going to cover. The topics we're going to cover, and kind of what we're hoping to get out of it by the end of it, which in our case would be like a document of an unknown number of core values that we think we would, and it doesn't have to be set in stone. It could just be a draft is established. These are the main ideas we were considering.
And then have people like submit things in writing if they wanted to ahead of time. So yeah, okay, yeah.
Not usually, but they could come mentally prepared to share.
Okay, does everybody think that's a good idea? Good place to start? And should we plan it for in January or in December? Like, how quickly do we want to do this? We got Christmas coming up, or is it something that can we start gathering information individually and start preparing for that in, say, beginning of January, or do you guys want to do it in December?
So December is always a write-off. People are too busy. And the beginning of January as well. Later January seems to work well.
Okay, what were you going to say, Simon?
Marianne, I just wanted to clarify. So this symposium, this meeting would be specifically for establishing a core set of values that, or something along those lines, right? Like the idea of sovereignty and our children having the right to be sovereign, our children have the right to, a future that is not toxic, things like that, right? Okay, so do you think maybe it would make sense to find somebody who can get started on that, or see if someone is willing to volunteer that has some kind of base of knowledge when it comes to sovereignty, equity, law, I don't know, someone who might be able to get going on that, and then maybe dedicate one of the meetings to that as opposed to a 2-hour block? Although sometimes these meetings go 2 hours, so.
I was going to say, we don't have a problem with the length, do we? I'm not sure I understand. So you think that we need a backgrounder in what sovereignty would look like in an educational context?
I just think that maybe we can start with something. Maybe someone would be eager to take this on, that could just establish like a 1-page list of what they feel would be core values that all teach. I don't think we need to complicate it too much. It's just something to say like, okay, if you believe in these few things, then you're one of us type thing. I don't know.
I think those exist already. I think almost every single school out there has already got one, and let's compare it, bring it to the table.
Sure, yeah.
Are you talking about a mission statement then, Marianne?
No, values. So our school is based on these values. There's usually at least 3.
I think never really followed. Sorry?
I think they should be specific to the idea of us as a group wanting significant, like massive change in how our children spend time in school and otherwise, right? Like, so just geared at that, because I know that a lot of schools do have core values related to respect and related to things like that, but maybe directed at more of like a freedom fighting ideology.
I don't know. I've seen those lists of values from every single school.
And they don't live by them though.
They don't live by them, and they're not concrete enough somehow to matter. Mm-hmm. It's lip service, especially in the international school service system. Right. So is this useful?
I don't know. So maybe not, but when school, let's say there's a school out there that's really frustrated with the way things are going, it's like, where's that beacon of light coming from that lets them know that they're not alone? And then there's this group that's growing with all these schools, parents and teachers who are like-minded. Like, how does that come across in a clear message? And I guess it's that message that I would want to see in a group, to be able to say, yes, that is definitely a group I want to be a part of. So I think by having some clear values, like if I were a school that had no clue about other schools and other groups or people that share in my belief system, if I went on a website and I saw, we are absolutely against masking kids, we are absolutely against vaccinations, we're maybe not in those words, but like in some kind of message that tells me like, okay, these are my people. And I instantly connect with that group. And so I don't know how to best go about that, but I think if it was a core set of values, and it doesn't have to be many, it doesn't have to be a list of 8 or 10, like we have 8 for our school, but it could be like 2 or 3 and then maybe somehow connecting that to a powerful video or something that will attract. It's like it's just a tool that would provide people with this light and let them know that here's a place you can feel comfortable sharing and meeting and, you know, growing with.
Okay, that's interesting. My first thought is, one of the things I like about Life Force is that we're all automatically included. We don't have to join a club or a line. We are it.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how diverse we are, we still belong. So what I'm curious about is, what is the variety of possibilities for education out there? And oh, I like that idea. We're going to start doing that. Oh, wow, look at what they're doing over there. That sounds fantastic. I didn't even know that was possible.
Mm-hmm.
So I see it more as an expansive thing, not an inclusive or exclusive thing. But I think that these are great conversations we should continue next week.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to figure out which direction to go. And that's kind of why, you know, and I understand Anna Maria's frustration, like, come on, chop, 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 let's go. I get it. Anybody got a clear plan? Let's, bye. Thank you for coming, Tara. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Thank you so much. It was really lovely meeting all you guys. And I hope to see you next week.
That would be great. We hope you come back.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Yeah, so it is about trying to figure out the steps that we take, and maybe they don't have to be carved in stone. Maybe we're going to take off in this direction and then go, Rich, look what we found. Let's go over here and do that. Like we don't really know until we get started. So I guess the key is like, well, let's just get started, and what does that look like? And so I think planning, maybe what we need to do is have a theme for these think tanks that I put in emails every week. This is what we're going to talk about next week. Come with some ideas, or maybe turn your mind to this, and maybe we have a list of topics, including what are some core values that we really want to see. Have you heard of any great schools out there that are, you know, like-minded, conscious and awake? What do you think? I mean, I don't know. I'm just tossing things out there. So.
I mean, I found Life Force Canada because I'm not even sure. I think Karen reached out to me because she saw, like, I was on some other group meeting and started talking about the school. So she reached out to me. But I think what draws me to Life Force Canada is just this idea that everyone here realizes the government's corrupt, sending us in the wrong direction, and we need something better, right? So that's something that's a common thread that we all share. So maybe you're right. Like, there's no point in establishing anything more than, you know, we're part of Life Force Canada, and that maybe that's enough. And then we can just get to work and finding the systems that we can use to try to evolve education. Yeah.
I think it's one of those build it and they will come situations as well. So when we start putting together templates that are there, they're tweakable. This is our outline. Use it how you want. And people start seeing, like your school that's doubled in capacity every year because word of mouth, right? Hey, we got something really great happening over here. That these kids are happy, and right. So I don't think we need to look at this as rescuing the world so much as building our community and providing for our group, and then it will grow as our group grows. Brian?
You had on the website there a list of curriculum, and I seen finances and natural law.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it went by pretty quick, but I didn't really see anything about human rights and freedoms. So if we are teaching that, the students are going to learn this in some depth. That is going to be powerful enough and say, we don't have to do that. And they're going to be learning this stuff, that this is why they haven't taught us any of this stuff in our schools, is because we have the liberty, the freedom to, like, people don't even know what liberty is. Liberty means what they're told it means.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up, because I was actually just on the, pardon me, the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and looking through them. And I copy and pasted some into a document. It's like, yeah, we're free to do this. We're free to do that. I mean, that's what it says on that document. It's not true in real life, but it made me think of, you know, we used to sing, "Oh, Canada." And my school does that. My old school does that, but it's only something they started in the last few years. But why aren't we singing that? Where is our patriotism? And why aren't we teaching kids their rights and freedoms and all that sort of stuff? I kind of feel like it should almost be like something that's displayed or quoted weekly kind of thing. Like, don't forget, these are all your rights. These are your freedoms. Let's sing O Canada, that kind of thing. Although I don't know, maybe O Canada is outside Life Force Canada. I don't know, but.
And we have Remembrance Day coming up next week. So this is something that a lot of people I've seen, they would say, oh yeah, people fought for our freedoms. Here we are sitting enslaved, basically dictated as what we can and can't do. And this is one subject that it goes on and on for me, but people fought for your freedoms, and it's what's going on right now is completely against everything that those people fought for.
Yeah, I know.
Gave their lives for.
I've put that on my Facebook page a few times because my dad actually gave up 6 years of his life during World War II. And he was just he was a boy, right? And it bothers me to no end. I'm glad he's not here to see this, to be honest. But Marianne, sorry, you were saying here, how about the theme for next week is looking for educational models somewhere in the world that we think is cool and amazing. I think that's a great idea. I think it's a good place to start. And we are going to have Tammy here doing a presentation for us next week, which I'm really excited about. I think you've had the good fortune of working with her yourself, Simon. So you know that I'm not exaggerating when I say like she really is. I had like truth bumps the whole time I was talking with her. Like she's awesome. And she lays the foundation young. And what's wonderful as well is that she already has a whole program that she has made ready to implement, right? So it might very well be a good starting point for us. You know, we don't know until we start to learn about other programs, what's out there, right? So I can put that in an email to everybody to start maybe doing some discovery, a little bit of digging, excavating, see what they can find around the world and even within our own country of what's possible, what's happening, and looking at them, maybe figuring out, like, if you can reach out, see if we can get someone to talk to us about it too, right? Or bring it to my attention and I'll reach out to them, whatever. Does that sound like a good place to start for next week, you guys?
Yeah, I think that sounds exciting.
Sure.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And we can always feature these as individual blog posts at a later date as well. I'll take notes, and if we have a guest speaker, we can record some of that and actually do it like a little interview blog post thingy. That'd be great. I have no problems doing that. Yeah, and I see our role at this point is simply providing a safe place for people to share information and let them come to their own conclusions. I don't think we have to solve the world or save things or tell people how to think or what to feel. We just need to offer a nice unified place to find decent information on this topic. Maybe that will alleviate some of our feelings of what to do next.
Yeah, although, yeah, I'm kind of leaning more towards let's take action myself, but
Isn't
even
that action?
I was going to say, but even
action?
doing that, it is taking action in a positive direction, right? But I guess what I mean is taking steps towards making change. But that is
Well, I think we are, because we are selecting things that fit with sovereignty and with the sovereign model that fits with Life Force. So there is that underlying core basis right there, foundation set.
True. Grace?
Okay, I'm there. Okay. I like the idea of doing more research as to what is out there first. Only because I don't have an education background other than the fact that life has given me an education, right? And I've gone to school. But I think there's a lot of things out there that we can learn from and not necessarily have to design something right away and come up with the best plan from the things that we've already learned in the research that we look at. There's lots of stuff I know that is working, but in the old system, we always looked at the Swedish schools or the Finland schools that were doing amazing things with their students. So, I mean, I like the idea of research.
I do too.
First.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And that's what I've been doing personally. Is kind of, you know, I reached out to a school in Florida. I was really hoping I was going to hear back from them. I haven't. I might follow up, but you know, there's places doing wonderful things out there. So yeah, let's maybe put everybody to task and ask everybody to, if you want change, let's find change. Let's see what we can come up with, and then let's think.
Oh, I like that slogan.
Incorporate all these different ways that are being used already. What can we take from it? What do we not want? How do we bring it together? How does that fit into how our core beliefs are, and all that sort of stuff? So yeah, great. All right, so next week, spread the word. It's going to be a good one, I think. And I will send an email out probably tomorrow or this weekend, just saying, you know, this is what we're going to do. We're going to just ask our members to start coming to us with ideas of other programs that they've seen in place that are working, or like the Vedics Rus people, the eco villages in Russia, all that kind of stuff, right? Is that a plan? Can we leave it at that for tonight, or yeah? And you know, if during the week you come up with an idea and you go, hey, like email me, feel free. You don't have to wait till Thursday, right? You can always let me know and we can add it to the next week's talk, give everybody a heads up for it. Yeah?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I think that's a great idea.
Okay. All right. Everybody's tired.
No, I am.
Yeah, I got to get my boy fed and in bed. It's late.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Nice to talk to you all. And it's nice to hear such a wide range of ideas.